This is Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, mortgage expert with New American Funding. For the next hour, you'll learn impactful insider information as Christian and Dan teach about the ins and outs of Seattle's real estate market. Now, here's Christian and Dan.
Hello, and welcome to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on 1300 AM. This is Seattle Real Estate Radio. Thank you very much for listening. I am Christian Nossum. This is Mr.
Dan Keller with New American Funding, mortgage advisor, MLO number 115349.
Great job, Dan. You
Compliance is hitting
time.
me up. They're beating me up. Listen, man, I just saw you fly across the room. I've never seen you move that fast.
Yeah, well, you know, I got to do things sometimes.
What's up with the video camera?
I don't know. It's acting funky today.
Jeez. Well,
Yeah,
the sky
cam.
cam, he climbs this ladder, he jumps off, dives into his chair, throws his headset on, and brings us live. This guy's talented, guys.
I don't only help you buy and sell a house. I can climb ladders and jump into chairs.
Fly.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Good job, man.
Well, thank you. Well,
We're here.
I don't know if it actually ended up working what
Well,
I did.
when
but-
you're live,
Yeah, when live, you kind of got to do what you got to do. So, yeah. So, what's going on, man?
great day.
I know.
It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be a mortgage loan officer.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Rates are down. Anytime rates are down, it's good. No, it's great, man. It's I wish you guys would go list some more homes and get us some inventory, though.
Trust me, jeez.
Come
I
on,
wish
do your
so,
job,
too.
Nossum.
So, hey, you know what? Honestly, I got to say this.
Yeah.
This is something that I've been thinking about, and I've told some of my clients, some of my past clients. People right now that are looking to downsize, anyone that wants to downsize, the kids have moved on,
Yeah.
time to downsize, get something smaller. This is the time to do it.
Yeah.
You've never, ever had a better time to do it because there's no inventory out there. Prices are going insane. So your house is probably whatever you own now that you're going to downsize from is probably worth more or more expensive than what you're going to buy.
Yeah.
Not many times that you're going to do that. So even though prices are going up and it's super competitive, you're going to sell your house for way more than you probably think. And whatever you buy, even though the market's crazy there, it's still way less than what you probably are selling your house for right now.
Yeah.
So this is the one time that I will say, hey, in this specific situation, this is the time to sell.
This is where we're in a time right now, Christian, where you cannot go back and compare stats and numbers and graphs and charts. It's, the really neat thing about the time that we're in right now is when you encounter these types of markets, it's just all the more reason to work with a pro, because if you're not a pro, you're not going to know how to address the market.
Well, and you got to see the opportunity. And that's what I'm seeing right now. There is an obvious opportunity if you can see it. And I'm seeing an obvious opportunity that if you are at all thinking about downsizing, this might be the time to do it. And now, honestly, there's a lot of everybody knows a real estate agent. Everyone has a friend that's a real estate agent or knows a friend of a friend or something like that. If you're thinking of working with them, look at what they do to market your home, because that makes a ton of difference. It makes you a lot of money if it's done well, and it loses you a lot of money if it's done poorly. So the job of a real estate agent is to drum up as much attention and people through the home. The home has to speak for itself. But as an agent, my job is to get the eyeballs away from the screen, whether it's an iPad, iPhone, whatever, and the computer, off that screen into the house. And that's why I do crazy marketing that most agents don't do. But again, I know other agents because everyone does.
Everybody does.
Just make sure you're actually interviewing them.
Here's the thing right now. I haven't even told you this. This is pretty cool news. I got a call from the Washington Post a week and a half ago.
Cool.
And, they found out some of my commentary and some of the stuff that I write online. Guy wants to interview me, and we actually did the interview, and it was on TRID. It was on the new guideline changes. At the end of the interview, he said, how do you, I've never heard of New American Funding. How do you compete with billion-dollar banks? And I said, it's easy. I provide a high level of service. Our rates are extremely competitive with theirs, if not better. And the biggest thing is clients here in the Seattle area get to actually work with a human being that they can meet if they want.
In person.
And I give my cell phone to him, and he goes, okay. That makes sense. He was like, I said something about that not being my competition. My competition is some of these local credit unions that have strategic alliances with employers. And I still compete with them.
Yeah.
Because the service levels aren't there. And he goes, how do you get your message across? And I said, you know what? That's an awesome question. One, I'm a pro, a co-host of Seattle Real Estate Radio, little things like that. I create content online. There's social proof. But I said, this is how the market and the markets have changed. Go to Yelp.
Yeah.
And so what I do, and as a result of this, I actually posted it recently on social media. I put together, if you're shopping around for a mortgage, here's how to do it right. Don't take my word for it. Hey, of course, I'm in sales, man.
Yeah. I
run a mortgage branch. I want your business. Don't take my word for it. I will do everything to show you how great we are, but here's how to do it right. If you have to interview people, if you want to interview people, and here's how to do it right. The number one thing, and I'm going to turn the tables now to back your point, go to Yelp.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to Yelp
Yeah.
and look up, interview the agent. So if you're going to interview Christian Nossum and 3 other agents or 2 other agents, that needs to be considered, their Yelp reviews and their experience. Go to Zillow because sometimes Zillow will track sales, but do your due diligence online. And then third, look at their marketing plan. I can tell you just from experience, you do a lot. Even from your for sale signs, man, you have custom to the home, custom for sale signs, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, most real estate brokerages don't allow that kind of thing because they want to promote the brokerage.
Yeah. I mean, your for sale signs have the address on them and pictures of the interior actually on them.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well,
cool.
I mean, my whole thing is you're paying me a bunch of money to sell your house. Yet you're going to allow you're going to allow some other agent to promote themselves in your front yard with a big giant sign that says exclusively this company, this agent, call my phone number.
I love that.
I don't do that.
No.
I promote your house.
Yeah.
I have 8 photos of the home on the sign. I have a huge description that I write up about it.
Virtual
I have
tour, link to a virtual tour.
It's not even a virtual tour. It's a real live video tour. It's not stitched together photos.
Yeah.
It's a real live HD video tour of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where I put the price. I put the price on the website. So they have to go to the website, stand in front of your house. They go to the website. What is the first thing you think they see on their phone? The video.
Yeah.
They click on the video.
Yeah.
So they're standing in front of your home watching a video tour of the inside of your house. Virtually inside your house.
Yeah.
Going, I could live here.
Yep.
I mean, that's my job. My job is to get people in.
Yeah.
Once they're in, then the house sings for itself.
Yeah.
But that's, So if your agent isn't doing stuff that's getting people inside the house and getting eyeballs off of the screen, whatever screen it is, maybe you and I need to talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, my contact info is all on SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. I'd love to talk with you. Grab a glass of wine or a beer or coffee and just chat.
Well,
But
I just know as friends, you're doing a great job, and you're busier than ever, and you're doing everything you can to help the inventory shortage. So,
well, yeah, that's for sure.
yep, more listings will solve the problems out here for our buyers, and we've got a lot of millennials. We're actually going to do an episode on all the millennials coming into the Seattle marketplace, and it's not a bad. I think the older generations are like, oh, these doggone millennials, they're entitled, they're punks. They're not.
No,
They're
not.
hardworking.
Yeah.
They're, you got to understand what they've been through. And so one of our next episodes is going to be breaking down the millennial, on our episode, the millennial homebuyer. Their mindset and what they're looking for. So when you go to sell your home, one of your potential buyers most likely will be a millennial. And they pay them really well up here in Seattle.
Exactly.
So,
and how do you market to them?
And how do you market to them?
I mean, that's a huge deal.
How do you
and as a millennial myself,
Mm-hmm.
I know how to market to them. And they're the next buyer of your home. Especially, again, if you're downsizing, you got to know how to attract the next buyer.
Yep.
So,
well, we spent a lot of time talking about real estate just here in the intro. You want to go ahead and just jump right in, transition right into the Real Estate Minute?
yeah. So, Tableau, they're down in Fremont, right next to Google.
Yeah.
They have been just expanding and expanding and expanding. And they just announced last week they're going to grow by another 1,000 employees in 2016.
Wow.
So they're getting another building down in Fremont. They just announced.
Yeah.
I don't remember, something thousand square feet of office space.
Okay.
But their whole deal, just like Google, just like Amazon, they want a local urban setting for their office because they think that promotes not only growth in the city, but it promotes a healthy lifestyle for the people that are working there. So why that matters to you as a homeowner or potential homeowner or landlord, that's huge. Because if you're near Fremont, if you're in Green Lake, if you're in Greenwood, if you're in Ballard, if you're in Wallingford, if you're in Ravenna, the closer you are to Fremont, the better your property value is going to be, the better your rents are going to be if you're a landlord. You're sitting pretty because of these types of things. And that's what I was saying a month ago or whatever when Facebook announced that they're moving into a new office building just off Westlake Avenue. They're having, I think it was 2,000 employees or something like that are going in there. Yeah. Why is that such a big deal? Well, you got to connect the dots. And that's what I'm doing all the time. And I assume that separates me because I never hear any other real estate agents talking about that.
I don't hear other agents talking about it.
But you got to be conscious of what's going on in the city in order to say, okay, well, here's where I see values going. Yeah. Here's where I see the possibilities. Yeah. Here's where I see the opportunities.
And you're in that space, though. I mean, a lot of your clients, you got in there, 4 or 5 years ago with some tech companies. And I know I do a lot of your mortgages, obviously, and a lot of our mutual clients. Well, Tableau, I mean, we've had clients out of there, and they come from the tech world, the tech companies. And so you're always communicating with them and seeing their growth and seeing the expansion. So, I mean, we've got Facebook. We've got a handful of clients right now coming in from relocating for Facebook into Seattle. So, no, exciting times. And, this expansion only means one thing. It's, there's only a certain amount of square footage of property in these areas. Yeah. So supply and demand drives up prices.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So if you're looking at buying or if you already own a property, maybe it's time to, like last week we had the Ballard Reuse store on. Yeah. Talking about, doing some remodeling, increasing your property value. Yep. And I'm happy to talk to anyone if they're ever thinking about thoughts of, hey, I'm thinking about remodeling. Yeah.
What to do to get the most bang for your buck there.
I'm here to help out. So we got to take a break, but when we come back from the break, we're actually going to have Anthony Wurst, who is the owner of Dominion Pest Control, on as a guest, and he's going to talk about pests and what to do about them. So stay tuned.
You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
All right, hey, welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio on KKOL Business Radio, AM 1300. Just a reminder, we're here every single Monday at 3 o'clock.
Yes, we are.
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
And
we love that time of day.
We love it, man. I prepare for it. I look forward to it. And I have to get up really early on Mondays and work out, though. That's the only bad thing. As if I don't already get up early enough.
Jeez.
But no, we're here every Monday from 3 to 4, and we're just talking about things. I was just actually talking to our guest, Tony, about our vision and how we built this out. Your home purchase is the hub, and there's so many spokes attached to this wheel. Yep. And another great guest today, which is going to be one of those valuable spokes that you'll want to lean on at least, I guarantee it, at some point in time in home ownership.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I've personally, I don't know if you know this or not, Tony, but I've personally referred numerous clients to you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. I like seeing that
thank you.
Face. Good
I'll
job.
Pay you later.
Yeah. And one of the inspectors actually that we've had on the show, Jeff Keller with Alki Inspections, he recommends you guys all the time.
Wow. I'll pay him later too.
Yeah, exactly. You're just gonna hand out. You're gonna be poor after today.
Forgot my checkbook.
Darn. So, for anyone that's actually listening to us right now, this is Tony Tony Wurst, president of Dominion Pest Control. He was born and raised in Amarillo, Texas, which brings up the song Amarillo by Morning, which I'm sure you never heard either.
Really? There's a song?
Yeah, exactly. He moved to Washington when he was the ripe old age of 12 in 1988. So after completing his bachelor's degree, he got into the pest management industry and has been doing it for 14 years. He is the vice president-elect for the Washington State Pest Management Association and obviously the president of Dominion Pest Control here in Seattle. So I like seeing and I like having guests that are experts. And I mean,
should I go
Yeah,
now.
sorry. You're on the studio next door.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Not this one. No, but being the president-elect for Washington State Pest Management Association, it's kind of showing that, you know a little bit about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And all the reviews you have online, they're pretty much glowing. Yeah, and then the fact that I'm hearing your name from numerous different people, and so I start referring people to you, and my clients are saying, hey, yeah, they were awesome.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
good to hear.
So enough of stroking you right there, but hopefully
Oh,
you
keep
feel a
on
little
going.
better.
You have a little more?
Yeah, you want some more? All right. So, what's in Seattle? I kind of know this answer because I've seen it numerous times. What's kind of the most common type of pest that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
Day-to-day rats are definitely the number one.
Yep.
Did I get that one right? Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark that off my list here.
Pass test number one.
Number
Got
one. Done. So rats are always around. Ants are the number two. And so
what kind of ants are they? What are they?
The most common ant we have is called the Odorous House Ant. It's a little tiny black ant. You wouldn't be able to distinguish it. There's another little tiny black ant called the pavement ant. If you set them next to each other and you don't do pest control, you wouldn't know the difference between them. But they're very different ants. You treat them very different ways. The Odorous House Ant is a native pest ant. They live in the ground. They love fruit trees especially. There are several areas of the city like Ballard, the Leshai area, the Green Lake area, all have just a lot of those ants. I don't know why they necessarily have, it could be demographical too, that we just get the calls more from those areas of the city. But there are a lot of areas of the city that have that one, and we have a lot of customers on them on service for the Odorous House Ant.
So what's the bad thing that they do? Are they just annoying, or
They're
do
a
they
nuisance,
actually
yeah.
do something bad?
No, they don't do anything bad. They're just a nuisance. They're difficult to control, and that's the problem. They're not just I'll go grab some ant bait from Home Depot. You may control them that way. That I know people that have been successful with that, but that's rare.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about rats? What do you usually have to do for them? I mean, I kind of know from.
I've got a cat.
I hear that one often.
So I got a crazy story before you answer this.
Tell me.
We have two cats.
Yeah.
This is probably a month ago. She texts me or calls me frantic. My wife, who's the producer, she calls me frantic. There's a rat. It's sitting right next to the cats. No, it just walked into their food bowl and is sleeping in their food bowl. I'm like, what the hell? And yeah, it's just crazy. This rat just
Really?
yeah.
Was it literally sleeping there?
It was
And
literally
alive?
sleeping alive. The cats had not killed it. It was just there. It then, I realized, probably died just shortly after that because I found it about a week ago.
Yeah. Where'd you find it?
Underneath underneath an outdoor chair.
Okay.
Kind of huddled up underneath it.
How long was it after the incident with Foodgate?
Probably about a month.
A month.
So you've been hanging out.
Wow.
How big was this so-called rat?
It was
Christian?
The alleged
good-sized
rat.
Six
We
inches?
got photo proof.
You have photo.
Yes.
Ratatouille. Wow.
I like
Yeah.
that movie.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but here's the thing. I'm a numbers guy, so you guys are talking, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, one of our cats just had to go to the vet, $200 for a checkup and some tests and this and that, and pet food or cat food every single week. Dude, I'm just gonna hire this guy. You can't be more than probably what, $500, $400, $500 a year. Cat food's expensive.
Was that $200 a week? I'll take the $200 a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I will give you a deal. How about
month is-
$180 a week?
Yeah. Seriously, I'm sitting here. Wow, the cheap way, let's just get a cat.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe that's not the cheap way.
suckers are expensive.
Yeah.
Especially if they're my cats, because they're just going to let it sleep in their food
Yeah.
bowl.
Well, I would have suspected that it was sick, sleeping in the food. But if it was still alive a month later, that's very unlikely.
It was dead a month later.
Well,
I found it.
you found it a month
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
Should we get really gory and I could find out about? We could do like forensics
Forensics.
of how old this dead body was.
I don't think the listeners want to hear
Okay.
that.
All right.
But totally what you would expect out of a pest guy.
Exactly.
sorry.
He wants to go
Right.
into the
I
gory
love it.
details.
I was just about to get my gloves out here.
Love it.
So, I asked you a question before I went off on my
Oh, what
tangent,
was
which
it?
I'm really good at doing.
do that.
Yeah, exactly. We're both really good at doing that. So the question was, what do you usually do for rats?
Oh,
I mean,
for
what's
rats.
kind of the way
Okay.
to get rid of
Yeah.
them?
So very first thing you have to do on any pest problem, inspection. So we have to find out what's attracting them to the home, how they're getting in to the home or business structure, we like to call it. So what's attracting them, how are they getting in, and then make a plan for removal. And the removal will generally include some entry point repairs. It'll include trapping for removal. And then you've got to go to prevention. So once you get them out of the house, then you've got to prevent them from coming back. And as we said, rats being the number one problem in our area, there is a large population of them outside. So you don't even necessarily have to do anything sort of like, quote, wrong at your home to get them.
Exactly.
So they're always out there.
They're always out there.
Yeah, so prevention is a big deal.
So in Seattle, what's the big thing, Tony, that attracts them to a residence?
Yeah. Well, let me just give you an example. Yesterday, I was training a new guy, and was it yesterday, day before? We were out in deep Redmond. I mean, like in the woods. Beautiful home, just beautiful. Huge yard, and out in the middle of the woods. With a couple of other really nice homes, and they didn't have any rats, of course. They might see some deer mice or other native pests that are like that, but rats are not native to Seattle. But you'll find them in the city center because they're commensal. So they're going to be around industry. The thinking is that they came here on ships, and that's why you'll see them closer. You'll see them really prevalent around the water areas.
Okay.
And so
makes sense that they're so popular in Ballard and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There.
Yeah. So what attracts them to a house? If you have a lot of clutter, so with living things, you have three main issues: food, water, shelter. If you can control food, water, shelter, then you can really control the pest. Now, if you look at your house, let me just talk about it from a standpoint of rats. Harborage, let's say you have a wood pile. Well, there's harborage. There's going to be dew outside, or there will be other water sources like your gutters, your downspouts, and then food, insects, and there's going to be insects around your house. So there may not be anything you can do, but what you can do is control it. So you're looking at trying to reduce clutter around the outside, make it to where it's wide open. They don't like to be out in the open. So those kinds of things. Try to keep your gutters clean so that there's not standing water around. And then if you can reduce the number of insects around, that'll also reduce the amount of food. But if you live near like a green belt or a briar patch, that's just part of it.
You can do.
Yeah. So prevention is the way to go, and the way we do that is with exterior bait stations and inspection. We come around once a quarter, once a month, every other month, whatever the recommendation is for a particular case. And we're going to be looking around the house, looking for possible entry points. We're going to be looking for the activity in the bait stations or on traps, and adjusting for that.
Got a quick question. How do you get them? How do you catch them? How do you I don't want to say kill, terminate them?
Yeah. Stop them from breathing.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Well,
That's a great way to put it.
When they're inside the structure, we don't like to use poison. Material. We call that's the the buzzword is material instead of poison. We like to use traps, snap traps inside there, and they're really good. We have a special attractant that we put on the traps themselves, and we'll go back to the forensics a little bit here. One of the things that I teach my guys to do is if you catch a rat, don't just throw it in the trash, but bring it to your truck and lay it on your traps that are on deck. Because those
the scent
attracts them. So that's why we don't really, when somebody calls us and they have what we call a trap shy rat, that we've put out traps already and they won't go for it. We don't have problems with those because we already have our traps sort of prepped for that.
He rubs the scent all over him. I get it.
Yeah, I rub them in my armpits a little bit.
Yeah, I can totally understand.
I can totally
that.
smell you from here.
So the whole antifreeze, peanut butter, throw that out the window, kind of.
Antifreeze, tell me this. I've never heard this one. This is awesome. I'm learning something.
One of the first businesses that I ever had was a health club, and it was downtown in the city center area, and we had a couple of gnarly. We're talking, they were looking almost like rats, right? These are big suckers. And I had some a member say that, go buy a thing of peanut butter and put a cap of antifreeze in it and stir it up.
Okay.
Lo and behold, 2 nights later, we had 2 dead rats. We got them.
That'll work.
Wow. So it's poison, but I mean, you don't want that around a gym or a house.
You no longer own
that's a
that.
good one.
I was just going to get your 2 cents on that concoction.
So I worked for a local company when I first started.
Yeah.
And these in the old days they did mix their own poison.
Yeah.
And so these guys had access to some of the things that you just can't get anymore.
Yeah.
And we had this trap shy rat. Now it's a short story. Okay. So this lady had these twins. and it's a little bit sad.
I don't know if I want to hear this story.
these twins were on an airplane, and they died.
Oh my gosh!
In a plane crash.
Okay.
She had
Not
gone
because
to
of the
this.
rat traps. Okay, good.
Yeah. So she had gone to the island over which which was under the area where they went down, and collected a plant from that island and brought it to her home and put it on the mantle. I'll let you guys. Looks like we got to go to a break here. So
We're
I'll let
getting
you
shut
guys.
down. Our producer's shutting us down for break.
Yep.
All right,
That's
so
a
we'll be back.
cliffhanger.
We'll be
That's a
back with
cliffhanger.
Tony to find out what the heck happened
Stay
to this
tuned.
plant. So stay tuned. Seattle Real Estate Radio.
Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, continues after this.
Hello and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. We are having a fun time today with Tony Wurst of Dominion Pest Control, telling some gruesome rat stories and other things. So if you like that kind of stuff, stay tuned.
No, I mean, let's just, we're all on pins and needles here. He wouldn't even
Exactly.
tell us over the break.
No, he wouldn't.
So, okay, fill us back in. Backtrack a little.
Okay.
So if somebody's just coming back.
What was the rest of this
okay.
story?
Okay, so we have this lady who had these twins that were unfortunately killed in a plane accident, and she had gone to an island where that was near the area where the kids had gone down in this plane and collected a plant that apparently only grows on this island. So she grabs this plant, brings it home, puts it on her mantle, and she's feeding it. Well, a rat had gotten into her house, and the only thing in the entire house that this rat would eat was this plant, and was killing it. It was like it looked like, like these colorful cabbages you see. And so she hires us to come out, and at first she didn't want to kill it, because she was just that type that didn't want to kill them. So we tried some things, and finally I said, listen, you know what, we're going to have to kill it. And she said, okay, let's do it. So this is actually back to your antifreeze story, because you're talking about mixing the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And so we tried everything. I told you about trap shy. This rat was trap shy. You could not put traps out and get it. And some of the things that we'll do to combat against a trap shy rat is you can take the trap, you can unset it or unarm it, but make it look set. So to where you take the springs off of the bar, so to speak, so that it won't swing, but it looks like it's set. So it looks the same. You put some bait on there. You leave it for 7 days. You let them eat off of it. Then you come back. You
set it.
move those springs. They wouldn't tell the difference between that, and then you got them.
Got it.
So that's commonly what you'll do. We had done that, and it didn't work.
Wow.
So I
Smart
called my
rat.
boss at that time and said, Sean Bergman of United Pest Solutions, and Sean's a great guy, one of the pillars of pest control, and his dad started their business like 60 years ago or 40 years.
Wow.
They've been around forever. So I say, hey Sean, tell him the story. He says, and he gives me some material that you just can't get anymore. You could get it back then, and they still had some. So we and it's legal material. So we took it and we mixed it with some peanut butter. I had actually first what I had tried was just common rodent bait material in bait stations in the home. I had put peanut butter around it. They would not eat it. They just would not eat it. And so this material that he gave me, I was able to mix with peanut butter and got him that way.
Wow.
So
Peanut butter.
we saved the plant
Yeah.
and made the lady happy.
Good.
I love that.
So somewhat of a
I'm
happy
on to
ending.
something.
Yeah, sorry. I know. I'm like, Well, I guess you always associate death with a pest control guy. So I guess I didn't do myself any disservice
No,
there.
exactly. It's kind of what we expect.
No, but you know what I love, and I'm looking between the lines here, reading between the lines here. You reference your former boss, who's a pillar in the pest control community industry. This guy now, Tony's successful, but look what he comes from.
Exactly.
And so again, it's just totally going off. We go off on tangents, but
All the time.
it's just a testament of the guests that we're bringing on the show. You inherited a bunch of knowledge and experience from one of the best, and now you're being recognized. You're extremely credible in the marketplace. So, I love it. I love it. So here's the thing. I got to ask you, because Christian, I've heard about this since he moved into this new house, about you guys having these raccoons that like to play with your cats.
Yes.
What do you do with raccoons, man?
They play with
They
your
hang out with your
they,
cats.
They don't play with
I was
them.
going
They
to
don't.
say.
Are they,
No.
are they getting in little
They
boxing
just
matches?
steal the cat food every night.
Them are some
They come
gnarly
in.
cats you got, man.
Yeah, the cat. One time, I was inside right by the sliding glass door where the cat food is, where the rat photo was taken that I just showed you, and
evidence.
I hear this like weird noise, and I look outside, and the cat is literally like swiping at this huge raccoon. It's like a small, not even a small dog. It's like a medium-sized dog.
They're
It's
big.
huge.
Yeah.
And the raccoon's just backing away, and I'm like, wow, one swipe and that cat's gone.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah, but it backed away.
Yep.
It ran away, and I was not very happy at the raccoon.
So what do you do with raccoons in Seattle?
Well, they are protected.
Oh, they are?
You have to live trap and euthanize, or in some way, some approved way, make them
Go
die.
away.
Yeah, 22 takes care of it out on Lake Stevens.
There are areas killing it, shooting it is legal, but you just have to do it in certain areas and
Yeah.
that kind
I
of
don't
thing.
think you can get away with that in View Ridge,
No.
Seattle.
No.
Not
Just
so much.
silencer on the gun, maybe.
Exactly.
I've got
I don't think
a,
I would. I don't think I'd want to do that.
Well, I
Yeah.
have a
Dan.
scope on mine.
I don't have a big enough yard. I got a
Man,
huge yard,
we are
but
all going to get ourselves in trouble. We better move on.
Well, again, tangents.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
anyhow,
so-
I was about to say some things on the radio that should only be said in private rooms.
well,
So what are the most difficult pets to get out of?
Get out of your house.
Yeah, to remove. That's what
The
I wanna
most
know.
difficult.
Because I'm stealing your questions, Dan. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
you just swiped one of my
I
questions.
know, but I like that one.
Are
and
you
I
guys in a
wanna know.
box?
No.
Yeah, like my cat did with the
that'd be
raccoon.
awesome.
Yeah. I'm the cat. No, that's
So-
one of our questions.
Yeah, but the most difficult pest to remove, man, I'm really gonna have to say, it's the odorous house ants
Yeah.
Okay.
because there are just so many of them. I'll give you a tidbit, and I'm probably short on time. Tidbit about them: most ant colonies, social insects, have a queen, a dominant female, which I'm sure the producer will love. The fact that the woman runs the show.
Yes.
And if you remove that queen,
Uh-huh.
the entire nest will fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's because she gives them
The orders.
orders. She tells them what to do. They just need her there.
Dan and I aren't familiar with this
No.
at all.
You remove Jenny from our house, and I can guarantee you it will fall apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone will starve.
I will fall apart.
Clothing
Yes, I
will never
fall
be
apart.
washed.
Yeah.
So you're onto something. I mean, it's speaking the gospel,
Yeah.
man.
So
So how do you find that queen?
right. So with the odorous house ant, if you remove a queen or the queen, another dominant female will go into her place. Or they could, if they feel threatened, take several dominant females and divide the colony and go to different areas of the structure.
Wow.
So that's why you don't want to use poisons or things that are considered repellents with an odorous house ant colony. So you have to be very careful about how you treat, what you use to treat, and then how you go about doing that.
So what the heck do you do?
Well, we have mostly...
We hire you.
Yeah, mostly baits. Yeah, mostly baits. You can't buy the baits that we can get. Obviously, with licensing, we have access to things that you can't just buy at Home Depot.
Yep.
So,
Well, and you guys know how to set it
Yeah.
and
Where to
and
put it
distribute it
and-
properly.
right,
Yeah.
we have ways. The thing I try to get my guys to do is give our customers relief as soon as possible. What we can do is we can inject those baits with special apparatuses that we have up underneath baseboards, basically out of sight areas. And what that's going to do is draw the insects out of sight. And so that really solves the problem from the customer standpoint, is that, while we're in the process of getting rid of them, we've already solved your problem. So you don't have to look at them anymore.
Or your house guests. You know,
Absolutely.
You have a drive over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, okay. So a lot of our clients.
Excuse me, the ants are on the table. Should I give them a portion?
Yeah.
Or
They just walked away with my bread. Yeah, thanks.
Can I have
dude.
another piece, please?
So a lot of our clients have kids.
Okay.
So tell us a
Who
little.
never drop food on the floor ever.
Never.
Especially sweet stuff.
Well, both of us have young kids. Yours are younger than a little bit younger than mine, but
Half of Bowden's food is literally on the floor,
on the floor.
every single meal.
and he eats it probably too.
No, we
no.
don't. Well,
Could you try to get some of that in your mouth, maybe?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. It's like we're wasting so much food here. buddy.
How about with that in mind, kid safety? Tell us a little about
yes.
your products and your
That's good.
placement and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I actually, because we had talked a little bit about what the questions were going to be, I called one of my close buddies who's a rep for Bayer, which is one of the most well-known chemical producers, manufacturers of chemicals in our industry anyway. And I asked him, I have a standard answer for this question, which is that all the materials that we use are licensed and tested by the EPA and the WSDA, which EPA is the federal government level and the WSDA is the state government level.
Got it.
The kind of testing that they go through costs billions with a B of dollars. Kinds of things they have to do is they have to hire several in different areas of the country entomologists who can put these things to the test out in the field and in the lab. They test them on different substrates, which are like different kinds of things that they would spray it on if it's a spray material. They test it on. They use usually rodents as a mammal to find out what the lethal concentration will be. Like when is it dangerous? They have to find out all these different things. How can you spray it? So after all that research happens, then they produce what's called the label, which is on the side. You see it at Home Depot. You can go and it shows you instructions for use. Yeah. Well, for us, that's not just suggestions. As a licensed pest control operator in Washington State, if you don't follow those rules, your license is in jeopardy.
Yeah. Wow, that makes sense.
So after they spend all the money to research and find out how they can be used, they produce that label, and that label will tell you where you can use it. Can you use it in a home? Can you not use it in home? Can you use it in a food establishment? Can you not? Can you use it if there are pregnant people or elderly around? How is it? And for the most part, when we spray the outside of your house, and we'll ask you to keep the dog inside until it's dry. And we'll we'll find a shadowy area and say, hey, when it's dry there, you can let the dog out. My trainee the other day, he was like, man, is this stuff going to kill me or something? And so we talked about it, and we got out the MSDS, which is a technical sheet for that material. And we found out that it's going to take, he would have to eat 5 pounds of the technical material to die. Okay, and the technical material is not the concentrate that we carry on the truck, but the concentrate that we carry on the truck is diluted down to 8% of the active ingredient. So we're talking about the active ingredient. You would have to eat 5 pounds of it to die.
Not happening. Quite a bit. Okay, so check this out. In 20 seconds or less, this question is for my wife and for every other woman listening. What do you do, and can you do anything for bed bugs? It's a common question right now. It's on all the shows on TV.
Use the dryer.
Okay. Heat them up.
Boom. That was less than 20 seconds. Heat kills bed bugs, eggs, adults, every stage. Okay. However, if you have an infestation in your room, you obviously can't throw your mattress in the dryer or your frame in the dryer. So then you have to hire a pro. But
are you that pro?
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, I got to say some info for him so that if anyone's interested in talking to him, we got to get his
So he does bed bugs.
So he does bed bugs. He does rats, mice, raccoons, squirrels, all sorts of stuff, and probably a lot of other things.
Bed bugs are number 3. So those rats number 1, ants number 2, bed bugs number 3 now. Yep.
So Dominion Pest Control Services, 1-800-394-BUGS. That's 1-800-394-2847. That's 2847, or the word bugs. They're local, Seattle-based company, been providing excellent service for clients since 2006, and I can guarantee from my client's perspective, they've done a great job. Their website is dompest.com, dompest.com. So thank you very much, Tony, for coming on. You were awesome.
Great job.
So everybody else, stay tuned. We'll be right back with Seattle Real Estate Radio.
You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller. We're back with Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL Business Radio 1300 AM. Tony was awesome. He knows his stuff. And again, I mean, we try not to bring guests on that, or we try to bring guests on that are experts in their fields. And he is obviously an expert. He knows his stuff inside and out. He was mentored by someone that was a pillar in the industry in the area. And that's something that's kind of how I got in the business too. It's you got to have a mentor, and it's important.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing, I'm going to kind of take this in, I like athletics, right? And Alabama just won the national championship. Look at I've seen some reports, Christian, of all the coaches that have gone on to coach other Division I college programs or pro programs that worked under Saban. And it's the same thing here. I mean, it's a common thread that you have seen in your business, in mine, and now with this guy. And it's just a great resource. You know, he is. We were talking with him over the break about the areas in which he services, and we didn't have time to really talk about that when he was live. Here in the studio. And so, for you guys listening, he will go as far south as Tacoma.
Yep.
He'll go as far east as Snoqualmie.
If you ask nice.
Yeah.
You gotta ask real
You
nice.
got to have some big
You gotta have a reason for
problems.
it. Yeah.
No. And as far north as he said, Marysville, Everett. So, which is great. So, a great resource. Another great resource. I encourage you to look him up. His info is going to be on our website.
Yeah,
so,
I'll give it to you again. I mean, his website is dompest.com. D as in David, O-M as in Mary, P as in Peter, E-S as in Stephen, T. So dompest.com. 1-800-394-BUGS. And that was great. I learned some good stuff.
Yeah. My wife's going to love the whole bedbug thing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she's not going to love bedbugs.
Dude, we don't have bedbugs. I've tried to tell her before. Stop. Don't watch TV.
Yeah, she's freaking herself out.
I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV because of that crap.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have bedbugs.
I don't either.
It's all good.
I mean, I don't watch TV, nor do I have bedbugs.
We'll ask Shannon about that.
We don't.
No, we're good. So here's the thing. Today's Mortgage Minute.
Yeah,
I'm going to switch gears.
Oh,
okay.
whoa.
So
curveball.
Here's a curveball. Not going to talk necessarily about rates. We know I've talked before about what's going on overseas and how that's impacting, our markets. But I want to take a moment to. I'm doing a ton of these now because rates are trending back down toward historic lows. Meaning, I think the lowest I've ever seen them 30-year fixed rates was in the low threes, low to mid threes. And we're back into the 4%, upper 3 range, okay?
Wow.
So, a lot of phone calls for refinances. As I don't just do mortgages for my clients. What I do is I help them manage their mortgage and help position them. I use their mortgage. I always refer to the hub and spokes attached to the hub. So if you put
Like a
a
wheel.
mortgage or a home purchase in the middle of that wheel being the hub, some of those spokes are going to be, they're going to have kids. And those kids maybe someday will go to college or want to go to a private school. And so what I try to do is I try to integrate that mortgage into their short-term and long-term financial goals. Well, right now, with home equity being increased, a lot of my clients that have purchased in the last 2 or 3 years have more equity than they did when they purchased, possibly can lower their interest rate, or here's the big curveball, private mortgage insurance. So here's my message. If you're a millennial, if you're a move-up home buyer, if you have a mortgage and you're paying private mortgage insurance, now's a good time to have me it's free. It's a free mortgage review. I'll take a look at your mortgage. I'll take a look at, contact you and get a better idea of what their home is worth, maybe. And
do that.
we'll do a mortgage review. We'll do a real estate review for you. And you'll know how much equity you have, much like a financial advisor would say, here, you invested $100,000 last year with me. You let me invest this for you. Here was your return. You now have $140,000 or $100,000, whatever it may be.
Numbers,
I do the same thing with mortgages. So,
and you're not going to hound them or anything.
No, if it's not worth if it's when you show homes or sell homes, if it's not worth selling them a home, you're not going to encourage them to buy a home. So my biggest thing is if I can save you interest, if I can save you from throwing money away on interest or private mortgage insurance, I want to do it.
Which private mortgage insurance? I mean, I'm seeing people that are paying hundreds of dollars every month on that, and if they can get out of that, that's huge. Even if their interest rate's the same.
And the market has trended such that a lot of people actually have the opportunity to get out of it. So that's my mortgage minute or two.
Okay. Well,
so,
cool.
But anyhow, hey, let's talk real quick about what we've got going down. So,
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm having fun right now. I just started coaching Avalie's basketball.
Coach
team.
Nossum.
Yeah. I was an interim coach the first week.
Okay.
Second week, I got the label.
Okay.
I'm now
You
Coach
throw a clipboard
Nossum.
yet?
I have not.
No?
I don't think I'm going to.
Okay.
They're only 4 or 5 years old, so don't think that's quite the motivation strategy that they need to see yet.
No, that's not the way.
Or
right?
ever, really, honestly.
You're not. That's not you. Anyways,
That's not me
I was
at all.
telling my wife, I've worked with you. We've done numerous I don't know, hundreds, but numerous
Probably,
transactions together.
Yeah.
And I've really never seen you. Of course, I don't know if I've ever really ticked you off too much, but I've never really seen you get rattled, man. You're pretty even kill. You hold yourself really well. So they've got a good coach. In public.
I'm just joking.
Shannon may say something else. Yeah.
I just made her laugh a lot.
Yeah. You may kick the cat when you walk in the door.
No, they're outdoors.
They're outdoor.
I'm not kicking them once they're in. No, I'm just joking. I don't kick cats. I love my cats.
No.
I love
So
my cats.
you're coaching hoops.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's fun. I've never coached before.
Yeah.
She's the oldest. She's only 4.5. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's fun. But hey, next Saturday,
Yeah.
so I'm coaching hoops
Okay.
9 to 10 a.m.
Okay.
At 1 o'clock this
Yeah.
coming Saturday,
Yes.
the 30th. We're gonna be at the boat show.
We're going to be at the boat show.
Last week, if you heard us
Yeah.
when we talked about this, when we announced it, you may have heard us sing the jingle, the boat show jingle.
Yeah, and you know what? We're pretty good singers, but here's what here's the thing. Here's what I'm better at. I'm actually you've seen this. I can fish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, you're good.
Yeah, you've gone out.
You've
We
taken
got
me out a
Abilene
couple
caught our
times.
first salmon last year.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. This is going to be an exciting opportunity, obviously, for me to go down there. It's a big deal in this area. Obviously, we live near the water.
Well, so much outdoor stuff to do here.
But there's a lot, that we're going to be able to do with a couple of guests. It's just going to be an awesome opportunity. I know a lot of people down there, and I know a lot of people going. So definitely tune in. You're going to, hey, if you like to fish or crab or get out on the water, we're going to have some pretty cool guests that are going to
be on with us.
Yeah.
We're only going to be on. We're live for an
1
hour
Yeah.
from 1
Yeah.
to 2.
Yeah. And if you're
And
down there,
definitely say
come
hi.
and say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find us.
Yeah.
Go to the website, see what we look like. So if we're walking around, you can flag us down and
Yeah.
punch us in the gut or something if you don't like us or whatever. I don't know. But hopefully you don't do that. That wouldn't be very nice. Give us a
No.
hug. We like people.
you like hugs. Hug Nossum, give me a fist pump, and we're good to go.
You don't like germs, so that makes sense.
I do not.
Yeah, so that's cool. We got that coming up on Saturday. So Saturday at the boat
Yeah.
show from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And then
And I'm boat free right now, so you
I
never know. I may
know.
walk out of there with a new vessel.
yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be cool. I'd like to be a
Never
part
know.
of that process saying, "Hey
Yeah.
Dan, you really should get that one." It's only like 1.2 million.
Yeah,
It's not
shut
a
it
big
down.
deal.
I can really see myself fishing out the back of this one, Dan.
I could really see myself
Mhm.
taking a nap on that while
Yeah.
you're driving the boat.
Yeah, well, you're rolling them in. Yeah. Well, so, no, we're going to be down there. Come on down. That'll
Yeah.
be fun. And then,
February 17th, we got our next
Big.
homebuyer class. Oh, yeah, and at the boat show, we're going to try something out. So we're going to try and live stream.
yeah, we are.
We're going to do Periscope.
Yeah.
So if you're not already following us on Twitter, on the Twittersphere, maybe, I don't know.
I'll shoot it out on Facebook, too. We'll shoot out the link on Facebook, and all you got to do is click on it.
There you go.
But, yeah, live stream. We'll have Shannon. We'll put Shannon to work down there. She's
Yeah,
our producer.
She's our producer.
Yeah.
She's just going to be sitting there looking pretty like normal. So
Yeah.
we'll have her do something.
Yeah.
Put her to work.
Live streaming from the show.
I'll
It's going to be
get
good, you
feedback
guys.
for that later.
Yeah. No. I tried cutting you off, buddy, to save your
I
tush.
know. You tried. But then February
Yeah.
17th, we're having our homebuyer class.
Yep.
Usually we gear them towards Amazon buyers or Amazon employees, but this one we're opening up for anyone that's interested in coming. So go to beersandhomebuying.com. So like beer, like you drink, beersandhomebuying.com. You can sign up for that. We don't have a lot of seats for that. And we just did the mailer and we started advertising, and there's already, I'd say, about 50% full already.
Cool. Okay.
So we're getting
And
close.
it's super informal. It's about 26, 28 people. Would love to have you out. So
Yeah. It's
we got
fun.
a lot.
It's
a lot on the
of fun.
calendar. Yep.
A lot coming up, a lot to plug, a lot to tell you about, a lot to share with. Yeah, and it's been fun. Thanks a lot for listening today. It was a fun show. I know we got a little goofy at times, so I apologize for myself.
Gotta
Dan.
have fun.
Yeah, no, that's the way we roll. So, yeah, that's about it. Stay tuned for next week. We'll have some more real estate and mortgage tips right here on Seattle Real Estate Radio.
To contact the show or for more information, visit SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. That's SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. And be sure to tune in again next Monday at 3 for more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, mortgage expert with New American Funding, right here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL.